This is the Little Moments Count radio podcast, created in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. Each episode, you'll hear interviews with early childhood experts on how to support the important brain development that takes place in the first 1,000 days of life, just through little moments every day. Learn more at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.
This episode is brought to you in part by Little Moments Count. And Little Moments Count is a statewide collaborative focusing on helping parents and caregivers learn about the importance of brain development in the first 3 years of a little one's life. Now, nearly 80% of the brain growth happens within the first 1,000 days of a small person's interaction when we're talking playing, we're talking reading, we're talking singing, and all of the above. And if you like more information, littlemomentscount.org. Now, Arielle, I'd like to say good afternoon, and how are you doing?
Good afternoon. Good. How are you?
I'm blessed. So for the listening audience, can you give us a little bit about yourself? Because I know you're the doctor of, and the director, not necessarily the doctor, but the director, the director of early childhood at Northside Achievement Zone. So what exactly does that title?
Yeah, I work over at Northside Achievement Zone, and basically all of what you just said about our littlest ones is what I prioritize every day. So really thinking about how can we support our scholars in those first 1,000 days, and even before they're here, to make sure that they feel like they're going to be ready to be successful in their future. And that all starts right away when they're very little, and we start to shape their brains.
Now, in the process of doing the shaping of the brains and all those different things at a very young age, what are some of the things that parents and teachers can talk about with their kids coming in at the level that they're coming in at?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being curious right away about our scholars when they're, really little infants. We know that there's a lot going on, but they can't really tell us a lot about what that is. So being curious about what they might be thinking about, what they might be interested in, and really talking to them about some things that you're doing. Maybe you're cooking at home. We can talk about that, or even taking interest in what they're interested in. I know I have a scholar at home who's super interested in science right now. It's not my favorite subject, but I certainly am taking a lot of interest in it, trying to help ask her questions to learn more about that. So just really being curious.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just being really curious about what they're interested in and building on that.
Yeah, because I was going to say, what are some of the ways, for one to listen when it comes to the lineup of communications with that youngster? Yeah. And, because a lot of times there's a lot of them that cannot speak as of yet. Right. And then you got to come to that understanding and trying to, understand the expressions that they're saying and what are they trying to do. So give us some kind of examples of something in that area.
Yeah, communication goes beyond words. We know that. So when we look at infants, they're smiling at us. They might be cooing or making noises, making eye contact. I really think something positive we can do is when we're talking to scholars, take a pause before we keep talking. We say something. Sometimes we don't give them a lot of time to respond, whether that's with their words or with their smiles, but just really pausing and giving them time and space to be able to start to communicate back to you. And I think we will be amazed. I'm amazed every day when I'm talking to infants. If I do give that time for them to respond, they actually do end up making eye contact or making some sort of sound back. So that's certainly communication and the beginning steps of their language development.
Now, how important is it for, let's say, the mother and the father to be a part of that youngster's life and spreading that love of getting to know both sides, that love factor?
Yeah, absolutely. That love is so important. That is, the foundation for their child's development. And so as much as we can love on those scholars, really take interest in them, help them to be ready for their future. A lot of times early on, they're telling us what they like, what they don't like, and we can really help foster some of that creativity and really set the stage for their future early on.
Now, when we're talking about youngsters and we're talking about the little ones and trying to get that process to grow up and be strong adults, those scholars that they will become, when we're talking about engaging in conversation and also being a parent and also being a teacher, what are some of the ways that we can combat into the in-betweens in order to get them to speak on some of their experiences or some things that we could do to spark that conversation? Because eventually they're going to learn to talk, and they're going to learn a lot of words.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a couple things come to mind. Trying to ask open-ended questions, so questions that they can't answer in one word. So what did you think about that movie we watched last night? Or can you tell me about something funny that happened to you today? So really opening the question. And, a part of talking is also listening. So as much as we can create space to listen, especially as our scholars get into those teenage years, sometimes all they really want is us as parents to quit the lectures and open up the conversation so we can just listen to what they have going on.
Now, getting the opportunity to be the director of early childhood, and when we're talking about Northside Achievement Zone, what was that thing that got you into the side of that educational side of wanting to be in the studies of teaching and educating?
Yeah. Have you ever talked to an infant or a child or watched them play and see this moment where there's like a light bulb in their eye? You could see they learned something, that their eyes just light up and they're really excited. They might want to show you what they've learned. I found that super early on as I was a scholar, that I loved those moments where I could work with babies or toddlers and see that light bulb and see that light in their eye, that they're learning something and I can contribute to that. So, from a very young age, I knew that this was something I was really passionate about.
Okay, and if by chance I missed a question or two, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Mm-hmm. No, I think this is great. I just continue to encourage parents that can open up, be curious about their scholars, talk as much as you can. That language development is really what supports them to go into kindergarten and really begin those reading skills and those other skills that are going to be with them for life.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you very much to Arielle Handevidt, and thank you once again.
Yeah, thanks, Cuba. Have a good day.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, just also letting you know that if you like a copy of that you just heard, or if you like more information about anything surrounding that area of Little Moments Count, all you need to do is to go to littlemomentscount.org/podcast. Or even beyond that, you can go to Little Moments Count, and you can lock in on their website at littlemomentscount.org. It's FM 89.9 KMOJ, no doubt about it, is the people's station.
Thanks for listening to the Little Moments Count radio podcast in partnership with community radio stations throughout Minnesota. You can find the Little Moments Count radio podcast wherever you get your podcasts and at littlemomentscount.org/podcast.